I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuzetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you're such a good...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look, she killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on the IE Network. Today's another Monday. Of course, today's the 27th, and it is the day that we will be finally bringing on a reunion that's almost 40 years in the making. I'm sure they, it's next year, I believe, they'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary of a 80s cult classic, The Last American Virgin. That's what's up. We're gonna have Diane Franklin and Lawrence Monoson's gonna be joining us. We're glad to have you all here in the chat room. What up, chat room? How you guys doing? Holding it down as usual. Having Hollywood in the chat room. Joseph Tanner as usual. Hello to everybody, all my friends over at Facebook, the social network itself. Let's see. Let's pull some more stuff here. Make sure I could get you guys on your. Everyone needs to get in the chat room and comment. We have a poll up. Take the poll that's up in the chat room. We'll put some up periodically. This poll is saying, oh, there you go. Good, Joseph. I'm glad you're doing good. The poll that's up right now is one of the trivia questions. It's an easy one. If you watch the show and if you watch the movie, you know the movie. What was the name of the pizza spot that Gary delivered for? And the poll is up there. You guys, we'll see what the results are a little later. Yeah, we'll have some trivia going on. We'll have some, a couple things going on, man. It should be real fun. Should be real fun. Everybody, let's see. We'll talk real quick about around 9:10 or so. They should be joining us, and we'll see how it goes there, man. It should be real fun. Should be real fun. So yeah, you're watching Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. I am the director, and I brought my Jedi Council with me. At least one half of them. Don't believe me? Here he goes, Ralph. You in the building, my friend. Welcome back.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Hey, happy Monday. It's a good day today. A lot of things going on today.
Man. Should be
Go
fun.
Dallas.
Should be real. Should be real fun. Yeah, I'm very happy too. My Vikings won, and was able to, get a win there. So yeah, last American version. So of course, we'll talk about it. We watched. I've watched it again. I've seen the movie so many times. So, I've come up with different trivia questions and stuff like that we might put out there for people if they're thinking about, trying to win something. Now, remember, everyone who is watching live, jump into the chat room and type in hashtag LAV-ROCKS, LAV, which is an acronym for Last American Virgin, LAV-ROCKS. Hashtag LAV-ROCKS. That's going to automatically put you in our giveaway. We're giving away some cool stuff, and then we'll do the drawing a little bit later and go from there. So yeah, man, this film, it really kind of like, in my opinion, and not just my opinion, right? That and Fast Times, it kind of started this whole teen movie comedy thing because it was back in '82. So a lot of the movies came right after that, and they kind of followed that trend. So this one here was really probably one of the most memorable. Fast Times is definitely a memorable one. But this one here, I think because of the ending, it was
agreed.
And
I'm also gonna. I would be remiss if I didn't also say at that class, beyond class. And this is before John Hughes, but certainly Porky's. I think Porky's is the other one that's the one that stood out above the rest, despite if people saying it is moronic, whatever. But you can't deny that it's truly a funny film. Sorry, it really is.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've never seen it, go find
it. It definitely is. It definitely is. So that one, those all stood out in my opinion. So I think, but Last American Virgin, probably because of the ending. I mean, the whole film was funny, and that's why it's good to have the people on that we have on, because it's just like, they were all very young when this film came out, It was very young when this film came out. For a lot of them, it was their first feature film. So very cool stuff. I tend to ask. We are filmmakers ourselves, so we want to, like ask questions that not just the fans want to hear, but even the people that are interested from a film aspect. So I have a couple of questions like that I want to talk to them about. Everything else, and of course we have to discuss the ending that broke hearts around the globe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see people putting the
Like, wow.
hashtag Lav Rocks. That's right. Thank you, chat room. Everybody do that. Hashtag Lav Rocks, and we will that automatically enters you. So when we do our drawing a little bit later, it'll automatically come up on the screen and all that stuff. So that's all good. Um, let's see what else. That's pretty much it, man. I think that the film itself, it doesn't get old to me, because it's a forever debate. It's a forever debate of,
You know what? I'm gonna troll. Yeah, it does get old. I'm gonna tell you why. The opening 2 minutes, right? Because as someone that is not a native to Los Angeles but has been there quite a lot, as when he's delivering his pizza and he gets on the 101, I was like, you know what? I have never, in all the times I've been in Los Angeles at that time of the day, seen the 101 so vacant. I want to know how they did that, because that's
that
way
off?
before CGI. How did you do it? How they pulled that off? Because if you see it, and the funny thing is that spot where he's on, I know exactly what it is. It's right around the corner. That entrance is right around the corner from where Universal Studios is at. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's never that. You got Universal Studios. You got I'm about to say Chick-fil-A. It's not Chick-fil-A. It's the In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
But I have never seen at that time of the afternoon that deserted. Not even on a Sunday. Never.
That's an interesting question to ask. Maybe they know that. Too bad
I'm just
we didn't
curious
have
how
the
they did
director
that.
on.
That was before CGI.
Too bad we didn't have a director on. That'd be a good.
So I'm going to troll for that one. I'm going to troll for that one.
Nah, it's all good.
But
that's cool, man.
I sat up here. I sat up here today and I rewatched it again, just to get a little more familiar, because it has been a long time since I actually saw the last American version. But I still enjoy it. I still like it. It's still relevant, and that ending is still sad. Like, wow. And that choice, man. Why? And the funny thing is, when you see the ending and you hear the song being played, it's like his eyes is reflected in the song as James Ingram is singing, and it's just like, damn.
That's one
thing. You want to reach out and give him a hug or something. Like, I'm so sorry, man.
One thing. This soundtrack is probably one of the first films that I've seen where the soundtrack really served as the score, because every scene, the songs that were playing during the scene kind of help describe the scene, if you know what I'm saying. So I mean, you had like better off next time, better off. Like that song's playing when he walks in, and he sees Rick dancing with her. So it's all good. So let's it's now 13 after the hour. We're gonna I see we have one of our guests at least in the green room, so we'll bring him on, and then we're waiting on Diane. So let's bring on this gentleman who was the star of the film. He was the main character. We were getting the story through his eyes. He was the main character of the film, The Last American Virgin, and he was gracious enough to share some of his time with us tonight, which we do thank him for. So I want everyone to give a warm welcome to Mr. Lawrence Monoson is in with us. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh man, we're great, good. Man. Thank you.
Thank
you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate that, man. I'm gonna start right off by saying, right out the gate, that was, from what I read, and you can confirm if I'm wrong or right, that was your first film. Was that your first film?
That was my first feature film. Yeah.
First feature film. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. Yeah. So now you were, and I believe you were very young. You were like 16, right? When you filmed that.
Yes.
Wow. That is so crazy. So how is it? My first question right out the gate is how. When you first got cast for that, did you have to audition for it, or was it like an agent thing?
Oh no, I totally had to audition for it, and I don't know if you know this story, but my role of Gary was actually already cast. It was cast with another actor.
Really?
I went in it was just the week before shooting. Was having trouble finding the guy for Joe Rubo's part, the big guy.
Yeah.
And so they didn't know what they were going to do. They just thought, I'll open it up and we'll see what actors come up with. So I went in and to read for this part. They were just open to different ideas. Mm-hmm. And I read for Boaz Davidson, the director.
Yep.
He was just like looking at me and he said, Can you wait here a second? And I said, yeah, sure. And he goes and he gets Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus, the producers.
Yeah.
They came in. And I did the scenes, and they were like, And then they said, okay, can you, they gave me different sides, and they gave me the material, Gary's role. And then I went out, and I prepared that, and I came in. They were like, and it kept going on for like an hour or two. And what happened was they ended up firing the other actor and hiring me, and I believe one of the reasons that happened, is that this movie is based on the Lemon Popsicle series in Israel, right?
Right, Lemon Popsicle. Right. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. There's like 7 of them, man.
Huge. There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, they were more like in Israel, right? Was it like
they're in Israel.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it turns out that I look a lot like the Israeli actor who played Gary in the Popsicle. So.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought I saw like one of the posters from Lemon Pops, and I'm like, yeah, I said the same thing. I'm like, he resembles Lawrence. That's really interesting. I didn't know if that was done after the fact or whatever the case may be, marketing wise. But yeah, we know those films came before, wow, that's so that's a cool story. I never heard that story. That's awesome.
And one other thing, for the labor laws, when you're an actor, you have to be 18 and older to not to go to school and have a parent on the set. And so I basically told them I was 18, and they said, "Can we see your driver's license?" And I said, "Oh, I don't have my wallet. I took bus here." And they said, okay, well, come back by the end of the day with your driver's license so we can see. And I called my mom when I got out of the audition. I'm like, Mom, I got to leave this movie, but I didn't, She was like, come to the office. She worked. And she got some friends, and they put together a phony driver's license. And
oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Mom.
Good looking, Mom.
Good looking, Mom.
Thank God my mom knew some shady people.
Yeah, back then, that's crazy. No, that's too funny, man. And I did read that, you were 16 and then they released, but by the time it was released, you were about to turn 18, or were you? You were like,
I think that's right.
I read somewhere like that. So that's funny though. That they so when you got the script, right? Once you got the part, you got the script. You read it, obviously. What, I got to ask you right out the gate. What was going through your mind when you read the ending of the script?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. When I read the script, I couldn't believe how incredible the part was. And, and I thought that the ending was powerful and felt true.
Wow. It was more, man, powerful is not even the answer. So I
think it's like this one of the saddest endings, because I was just saying before you came out, I said, like, you feel like you just want to reach out and give you a hug. Like, I'm so sorry, because and over these years, like, she just did you grimy, like
you did Gary dirty, man.
But it's dirty.
It's like that's been the long and just the fact of being a part of something so powerful though that it lasted all this time, that people still to this day. And I know day in and day out, you probably can't go anywhere without people mentioning that. to you.
Well, I don't know. And also, I don't look exactly the same as I did when I was 16. You know,
I'm liking the beard though, but
No,
I'm liking the
looks,
beard. The
beard looks
looks
great
tough.
on you. Beard looks great, man.
No, I mean, I think it's remarkable that this many years later that people are still interested in this movie. I think it's a beautiful thing. And, you know, I've met people, and especially young men, you know, and not young anymore. But I feel like so many of them have expressed to me just their feelings of what it was like to see somebody that they could relate to on the screen, somebody that did get their heart broken, somebody that did not get the beautiful girl in the end. And to be represented like that, I think made a really powerful mark on them.
Yeah, I agree because and I remember I remember Diane, I was reading her book. I had Diane on the show before. She's been on the show a couple of times. She's a friend of the show. and when we read her book, and she wrote somewhere in there how, you know, she was like, when she read the ending, she was like, oh no. and she tried to I think she said she tried to talk to boys and was like, you know,
like,
hey, you know, can we can we
They set her up. They set her up for failure. Like, nope.
like, no. Yeah, no, but, I mean, it was about his life too. So, I mean,
I think it was about Boaz's life.
Yeah, that's what she said that when she came on our show a couple years ago, and she's like, yeah, she wanted to, you know, ask her, is it possible they could change it? And he's like, no, because this is about my life. So, I mean, that's awesome, man. That's but I mean, the ending, I mean, yes, it's sad, yes, but in hindsight, it was the right way to go because it's lasted this long. So kudos to all of you who performed and acted in this film, man. And there's some people in the chat room said, hey, Lawrence. Ricky says, hey, Lawrence, you're an incredible actor. That's what's up. That's
Ralph,
what's up, man.
I want to tell you about this Hollywood freeway. The reason it was empty is I think we shot it at somewhere like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then they did a lot of stuff. We would shoot it during the day and they would transfer it to make it look like night. Then certain things we shot at night, and they would transfer it to make it look like day. I mean, because it wasn't a large budgeted film, so they did it like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I did not know it, because I'm sitting there, I've never seen that highway. That even on this, I just left LA like 2 weeks ago. I never seen LA that part right there, because I know exactly where it is. That vacant during the afternoon. I was like, So for you guys, I was like, did you like? I was wondering, like, was this a special permit? Did you have to actually get it blocked off, or shoot during a certain time? Like, wow.
Well, that's cool. So they shot at like 4 in the morning. And then he said they're doing some trickery, I guess, with the and that's back in the day shooting film, man.
Before CGI. CGI.
They was shooting film, so they had to splice and dice.
I know that scene when the 4 or 5 of us are the car rolls down the hill into the ocean.
Yeah.
That was definitely during the day. And then they made it look like night.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Yeah, that's a great. That was great.
They
did it in edit. They did it in post. I mean, you know, hey, they did it in post. That's all I can say. I mean, they've had to put some sort of. I don't know how. I can't explain. I can edit digital. I can tell you how to do it in After Effects, but you know, After Effects wasn't around back then. So that's awesome that they even did that in the first place. That's cool, man. So another thing, one of the scenes that you did that really stands out to me was the drunk scene. You know, when you came in. That scene. Now I wanted to ask because you know I pay attention to a lot of stuff. Was any of that improv? It kind of felt like it was. Did you improv any of that, or was all scripted?
That was scripted.
Really? Because the way you did it was like, you know, with the singing and all of that. So they actually scripted all of that out. Actually,
yeah,
what you
that
were
was,
saying.
it's totally scripted. Yeah.
Wow, that scene was funny, man. I cannot get enough of the look you gave her when the woman said something to you. You're like,
Mrs. Roswell was her name.
Mrs. Roswell.
I got what you need, baby.
That's awesome. That's so awesome, man. So
the one
here,
thing, the one thing that they added into that scene was, the burp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that was added later.
That's not my burp. I mean, I don't know how to burp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't burp on cue. What can I tell
Can't burp on cue. You can cry on cue, but you can't
That's
burp
right.
on cue.
Right.
Yeah, you had it, man, and that whole just playing that character, man. I mean, for you to be so young, to be able to tap into those emotions, sad, angry, shy, just to be able to tap into those emotions at such a young age is really is a testament to your acting at especially that young. So I just want to say, like I said, I really enjoyed your performance in, for you to be such a young guy at the time, your performance in it was unforgettable. So people, like I said, we always come back to that ending, But I want I want to ask a couple of questions that maybe you and say Diane would probably only know as actors when you did the film because of the character. So, like for instance, let's take and then whenever Diane joins us, I'll ask her too. But let's take the scene when he asks when he first sees her. I'm not see her when he first meets her, and they take her and he takes her to school.
Mm-hmm.
She gets out, and then he asks her, "Do you have a boyfriend?" She says no. Okay. He invites her to the party. She says she's busy. And then he sees her at the party and she's dancing with Rick. Now, here's like an inside question that maybe you might have known just from the character and reading the script. Who knows? Do you think, or do you know, did Karen know she was going to be at that party when Gary got there? Or is it something that may have happened, because this is how much we break down this film. Everyone talks so deeply into it. We look in between the lines and we're like, did she know did she know she was going to that party? That's the first part of the question. I have a second part. What do you think?
Well, that you have to ask Diane. I wouldn't put much past Karen though.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, man. I'm telling you, I broke that down. I watched that part so much, trying to read between the lines, trying to look at your emotions and reactions. And so, like, he asked her, "Does she have a girlfriend? Does she have a boyfriend?" And she said no, very clearly, no, not blinking an eye. And then, because I know my brother always says to me, did she come to that party with Rick, or did she meet Rick at the party? My answer is, I think she met him at the party, and Rick, being who he is, just jumped on that, and he was just like, "Look, this is me, regardless." So when he introduced them to all of you,
so Wes, when I asked her, I don't remember when I asked her, did I invite her to go to the party with me?
Yeah, and when you what you said was you asked her. I think Gary asked her if she what's she doing, and she said, "I'm afraid I'm busy," and then he said, "Yeah, because I know about this party that's going on," but she didn't say nothing when he said, "I know about this party." So that's what makes it's these little nuggets that make us kind of,
Well, here's my question with that one, because like I said, I rewatched it today. When she says, "No, I'm a little busy," did she actually know that you were friends with him, and was kind of You know, like that. I mean, now that I looked at it again, I was like,
that one. I think she did not know that we were friends.
Yeah.
She's new to the school, right?
Yeah, she's new to the school. She is new to the school.
Yeah, I agree. She is new to school, but in the beginning, when her and her girlfriend were buying the Rocky Road, the ice cream, right? All of you were on the same location. So, like, did he kind of sort of? I mean, this might have been the scene. Did he kind of sort of introduce himself from Jump Street, or she would have seen the three of you all together and just put when I say, oh, they must all be friends, you know, and then later on when you asked her, she was already feeling him. So she was trying to like say, you know, I had plans and wasn't really expecting you to come to the party. And then when you showed up, it was like, oh,
damn.
That's how I'm looking at it.
You gotta ask Diane.
You got to ask Diane that one, because I was thinking the same thing. We've been debating for years about if she actually knew, if she knew she was going to that party, she just didn't tell him. Because there's something else I noticed in the film that didn't sit well with me with Karen. After that whole situation and y'all at the grandmother's house, and it was the morning when he made her the eggs and everything, and she talks about, okay, I don't miss them, but I'll make up for it at my party. It didn't sit well with me that she waited all the way to the end to tell Gary that she's having a party for her birthday. He's like, oh, you having a birthday? Like, it was a little weird to me. He's like, oh, am I invited? She's like, oh, that's a dumb question, but still, it's like, you waited this long to tell.
It wasn't like it was like last second or something, but that's okay. I mean, we understand that's movie making. You know, like get it, that you already knew, but still.
Someone said.
It's pretty harsh. I mean, the guy, I don't know. I mean, like you said, Rob, they're all high school kids, and we do a lot of things in high school that I guess hopefully we learn better as we get older, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we hope so. We try.
We hope so. Some of us still didn't mature from high school. But you know what? You have a good point. We'll have to ask Karen. We'll have to ask Diane about the Karen questions. Perfect segue. Let's bring her in and ask her now. Everybody, welcome back to the show. Friend of the show, of course, Miss Diane Franklin, Karen with a K.
Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Oh my goodness. This is really fun. Hi, Lawrence. How are you?
Hey, Diane. How are you?
Oh, Bill, this is exciting. Lawrence, how are you? This is hilarious, right?
Good. They're asking
we got so much. No, we got some real nuggets that we've been breaking down, because this is how much we love this film, and this is how much people love this film, right? And so what we were asking Lawrence, Diane, was okay, after they first met, he brings her to school, drops her off. He asks her straight up, does she have a boyfriend? She says no, clearly, right? Not even blinking an eye. There you go. Right.
For those who don't know, that's us.
Does she have a boyfriend, right? That's what he asked. You had a boyfriend? She says no. And from that point on, then he asks her out to a party. What are you doing? She said, I'm busy. All right. And then he says, okay, I have this party that's going on. And she said, okay, well, maybe next time. Right. Just paraphrasing. That's not exactly what she said, but she basically said that. So then we go to the party and she's there. Rick, did Karen know that she was going to be at that party? Is that something that you might have known from, just a little nugget from being the actress and knowing the character?
For me, I didn't even know that until you just said that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that was the party we were talking about.
Yeah, the better off next time. And that's why I said, but like the
wow, nice one.
The soundtrack was so they use these songs so cleverly, like it was so brilliant the way they did it. The songs actually was the score. It really was the score. I don't think I heard any like movie score during it. It was just like the song scored the film. And so he's better off next time's playing. And it's like it's pretty much describing what's happening in the film every time. Every time there was a scene, there was a one of those songs describing the film.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the.
Lawrence, did you know that was the party that I was talking about when we did the dialogue?
I didn't, but I just that soundtrack was one of the first sort of, and then it started in the '80s where every movie had these big soundtracks. But The Last American Virgin really was one of the first big
those
sort of
power songs. Yeah,
U2 weren't even known that well back then. And,
I mean, everybody was on that, man. It was just like that soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks ever for a film.
That's showing you something. They got the police. That was a hard. I remember that was
the police.
You know,
The yeah, they had. Oh man, yeah, the police. I mean, you could go down the line, all of the songs that they played in there. But like I said, it wasn't just dropping songs in and out. It was literally scoring the film. Everything. When you think about Lionel Richie's "Oh No," that played when he was looking for them at the football field. They were up, her and Rick were up in the scorer's box or wherever they was at, and he couldn't find them. But the words to that song was describing how he was feeling at that time.
Wes, you nailed it. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about this film for a long time through our lives, but no one's ever mentioned that. Has anyone ever said that to you, Lawrence? That the music was actually. I mean, you feel it, but it never cognitively made until you just said it, Wes. What do you think?
First, what do you think, Lawrence? Did you hear that ever before?
No, not put that way. I think that was something that obviously they really tried to do. I don't know if it was like that in the Israeli version. There was a big soundtrack. I would imagine not like we had here. Hey Diane, I was telling them that certain things. Ralph was asking about the Hollywood Freeway. How was it like so empty in the middle of the day? And I said it was because we shot it like 4:00 in the morning, and they made it look like day. Don't you remember when we shot the football thing? Wasn't that also not? Wasn't it like daytime when we shot it, and they made it look like night?
Well, that's interesting. I think by the time it was done shooting it, it was night. But it was day for night. It was at the end of the day. And yes, at the beginning, like I remember we did a lot of photography, still photography before we did the scene. But by the time we left, it was night. But it was at the beginning, day for night. That was interesting. They blacked out the room and the football field place because they needed the light to shoot it, right? I mean, it was low budget, so they're not going to have all that.
But they did some nice editing.
They did really. Because if you never said that, I never would have known. I would have thought that they just did it at night, and But now that
Boaz's wife did the editing. Did you know that?
Oh, did not know that.
His wife edited.
That's awesome. She did a phenomenal job. I mean, I'd like to think I'm a pretty good editor myself, but I don't know nothing about edited film. Yeah. I only touched film one time in school. That was it. So, I mean, for them to be able to do what they did with that is just amazing. So, I think I had asked Lawrence this, but I'll just kind of throw it out there for both of y'all again. Just being a part of this phenomenal cult classic, as they call it, how is it, how does it feel just being, always remembered for the, this film? I know you both do more films, you've done more stuff, but this one always comes back. Everyone always brings it back up.
No, I know, right? Lawrence, you go first. You get to go first.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think it's it's a lovely thing. You know, I mean, throughout my career, I don't feel it didn't have that effect. I mean, I worked a lot throughout my career. I had projects that were bigger than this, as far as in the moment of my career and what they meant, in a certain way.
Right.
But as far as the longevity of it, and the preface for it, I think it's just beautiful. And I mean, to have been a part of something that has touched so many people, you know, and that is so representative of that era in the 80s, and to just have a little bit of participation, that I think, I mean, it's an honor. It's a privilege. I love it.
Awesome.
I want to just say, when we first did it, I honestly didn't think that, you know, the film would even make the theater, because at that time, I mean, did you think that, Lawrence, too?
We had no idea, right? Like, we had no idea, because it was Canon Films, right? So, I mean, do you remember what it was? It opened and it was like a really big hit.
Yeah, and I felt like it was. I don't know, but I felt like, okay, I didn't know if it was going to even play in a theater, and because not everything makes it to the theater. It didn't really. And then when it hit, it was kind of shocking. But, you know, we didn't really experience the hits like, you know, that people do today. You know, like when Fast Times at Ridgemont High had its like American premiere, and this was because it was an indie film. It didn't have that. We didn't feel it. You know, I think as much, right? I don't know. How about you, Lawrence? Did you feel it as much, or did you get recognized? I don't know.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I also felt it. I'm sure that you experienced. I would imagine you experienced this as well. I mean, my career. I mean, I had suddenly a career. I mean, a legitimate film career where people were, you know, wanting me for things, and so I mean, that was a complete, you know, revelation. From, didn't you experience that?
Yes, actually, that is true. The minute, well, what happened was the minute it came out. Well, actually, before that, like word. I don't know about you, but I had the word on the street. Like once I did Virgin, I think it was like people knew I could handle a lead, and then I started to be getting into a really high level pilots and starring in like movies of the week and being put in as the lead, where before I couldn't even get a side character because I didn't have the credits, the experience. I wasn't the look. And so it definitely boosted my career. In fact, the director of Better Off Dead, he had seen the film and loved me and brought me in because of this film. So it is kind of interesting when you do a film and you are featured in it, and featured in such a beautiful way. Like this film, I mean, it connects to so many people so deeply. And when I did it, I was more, you know, I was an actress in it. But now that I look at it, I go, oh, you know, this is such a beautiful film. I mean, it really does go to people's hearts. And it's just, I was a little bit shyer when it first came out, talking to people. And but as the years went on, I just felt, you know, obviously much more loving of it and proud of it. And you know, I knew, like, again, people come up to me and I can see it in their eyes that they just were affected.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I never understood was, well, I don't know what your deal was like, but I know I signed for 3 films for 2 sequels. And there's like 7 of them in Israel. And Virgin was a hit in America. So I never understood why. I don't think I ever really found out.
No sequel.
Yeah, that's
a
weird.
good question. Why was there never no sequel?
You know,
we got to get Boaz.
Suggest we got to get him here to ask him, because I wasn't included in that. Karen was out. I loved it.
You know what? No. Karen had to go. Karen had to go. Right?
Actually, Karen comes back as a corpse. That Gary goes on.
A ghost. She's a ghost.
Well, I remember when we had you on the show once before, Diane, and you were like, hey, when they were talking about making a remake, and you're like, hey, it'd be cool if you came back and Karen was the hooker.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I said, you know what? Karen has to be the hooker, you know, because everybody hates Karen, so just that's what happened to her, you know?
Wow.
You were like, no, so and I'm like, I don't know. People, that was, I was bad in that film.
No, it's that. So my next question, then I want to talk about the the overall cast, and I know because I've just from watching, doing research, I see y'all do come together sometimes, I guess, like with the anniversaries or maybe Comic Cons or whatever, like y'all may end up doing. That's what, and everyone is part of the cast. Just they all talk highly about the film, the cast, and the experience. Being so young though, doing that, man, it must have been a great experience. I asked Lawrence this earlier. I just wanted to ask you, how did it the audition? Did you audition for that, or was it like an agent thing, or you auditioned for it, right?
You're talking to me? Me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, on me. Yes, I did audition. They flew me from New York to screen test.
Yeah.
And I read. Now, Lawrence, you could tell me if this is true, because I thought I read with 2 people maybe for your role. I'm not sure. I know I read with you, and I think Kimmy was there, and also Steve. Did you read with any other Karens? Like, I just wondered what your experience was.
Oh, God, I think so. Diane, I think when I was cast, everybody was cast. Do you remember when? Don't you remember that Gary, my role, was cast? Remember with that other actor? I'm not going to say his name. And then
wait. Oh, I see. That's what it was. Okay, so it was the other Rick.
It was the other Gary. My role was cast with somebody else.
Oh, that's okay. No. Okay, that's what it was. All right.
Okay.
I knew there was like something, but
so you might have read with the other guy who played Gary.
Yeah,
who was cast as Gary.
But I didn't.
Wow.
Even,
so for y'all not to even do a screen test together, the chemistry y'all had on camera was amazing. Yeah. Y'all didn't even do any screen tests or anything together. I mean, I'm sure
because everybody, like I said, was already cast. I was cast really late because the role was cast, and then when I came in, and so I actually started like 5 days after I was cast on the first day of shooting.
That was pretty fast.
I didn't shoot with the other person. I didn't shoot with the other guy.
No, I got cast like 5 days before shooting began.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So the other person didn't roll camera. They just replaced.
So I think when I did my reading, I was reading with Steve Anton and Kimmy Robertson. Maybe that's who I came in and read with.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to be cast. You know who was supposed to play my part originally? Also, Christian Alfonso. She was on soap operas.
Yeah.
Dark curly, kind of curly hair, sort of wavy, just starting but she got a soap opera. And that's what got her. She couldn't do it. And then I was also, right in there. And literally, they met me in Boaz, and the producers from Canon Films came to New York, and they auditioned, and they said, we're going to fly you next week to LA. So that was the kind of how quick it went.
Yeah.
It could have been people sitting here.
No, because actually, I was going to ask that question to both of you. Since this is pre-John Hughes films, or the quote-unquote Brat Packers, who were the talents that was in your age bracket around that time that you were competing for roles with?
You want to go, Lawrence? You go.
Yeah, I can't remember during Virgin. I know right after Virgin. I know it was I was very close between me and Ralph Macchio for Karate Kid, and I know that for The Outsiders, I screen tested with Matt Dillon and Vincent Spano and all those guys. And so, and as far as I remember for The Breakfast Club, I got really close with me, and it was Judd Nelson who got it. But so I can't remember pre-Virgin who was up for a roles, but I remember right after Virgin, that whole pack that I was constantly going up against them. And I remember one last thing I'll say about that. When I got a mask, with Eric Stoltz and Cher, and or during, like, that was one of those movies that year that, like, our little pack of actors that were sort of doing well, and everybody like wanted those roles. Yeah, they were like, Diane, do you remember that there were like a handful of movies every year that everybody would want? And
Absolutely. Well, you know, okay, I'm just bringing up what you said. First of all, I was screen tested for Karate Kid. It was between myself, Elizabeth Shue, and one other girl. So that's funny.
Hilarious.
Imagine
that's
we had
hilarious.
done
Karate Kid.
We never knew. Okay, we never knew. Vincent Spano, I think, was with my manager in New York, so that name is really familiar. And I didn't compete with Ali Sheedy. The people who are around my, like, I worked with Ali Sheedy in a movie of the week called Deadly Lessons. Lori Loughlin, we did commercials together. Brooke Shields was a little bit younger than me, but we had done modeling earlier when I was younger. But let me think. Oh my goodness! Like I was telling them, I went for Flashdance.
We talking about that.
These movies are just so they were the minute they hit, it was like it was just amazing. 16 Candles, I think I went for, and
one of the huge films, but really all of those films, a lot of them, I mentioned this at the top of the show, you know, really kind of followed suit behind your film and Fast Times. You know, I mean, like they're y'all kind of set the tone for those type of films, you know.
And Valley Girl.
Valley Girl. Yeah.
Right. I love Valley Girl. Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Deborah Foreman recently. So that's been really fun.
Now hold up a second. I'm getting my producers telling me we got somebody that wants to say hi to y'all real quick. So let's bring them in. Hello, sir. Robo's in the house. You're in the building.
What's
welcome,
up, fellas?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I was like, we can't do this without Joe.
It was very hard for me to keep my mouth shut. I was gonna start telling everybody about this.
Yes, beautiful. We have a Last American Virgin reunion here. This is what's up. I'm loving it.
I need a camera. Where's my camera?
Screenshot this, everybody. Screenshot
I know.
this.
Screenshot it.
All right, good. You send it to me. Okay, good.
No doubt. So oh man, Joe, thank you for joining us.
No, it was a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on.
We appreciate all of you for taking your time and coming on with us, because, like we said, this film is just so beloved by so many people. It's got a cult following, and it's just so, you know, everyone just can't stop talking about it. Joe, I got one big question for you, real quick.
Sure.
Why was David's nickname the Big Apple? Why was that his nickname? Do you know?
Diane, answer that.
Diane, you know that?
Well, all I can say is he's from New York. So.
Okay.
That's
wow.
And it was hard to lose the accent. So he went with it. Boys went with the accent.
That's so funny.
New York, you know, like you call him the Big Apple because he talk, you know.
Yeah,
like they talk like this, and it's funny you said that, because I was gonna come on the show saying Big Apple in the house.
Big Apple in the house, the Big Apple.
Yeah,
himself.
that would have been.
No, I was just wondering that, because I'm like, this takes place on the West Coast, right? I'm like, why are they calling him Big Apple? Is his character supposed to be from New York? That's the first thing that came to my mind. So,
that's what it
all
is,
right, so I have like I said, I asked these questions that are really like questions that you guys would probably only know because you played the characters. So, like I think I brought this up right before Diane came on, and so we had I asked the question about when he asked Karen out, and she said, "I'm busy." Then she goes to the party. David says, "Yeah, guess who's here? Karen." Yeah. Guess who's here? Karen. Yeah, she's over there dancing with Rick. So we've been debating. My brother, who's a big fan as well, we've been debating if Karen actually knew she was going to be at that party. My brother says yes. Heaven Holloway. He's like, nah, man, she knew, man. So I don't know. We're trying to figure this out. And with David's character, he was kind of like caught in the middle, So it was like, but this is just my opinion, and then you can elaborate on it. It felt, I know David, Rick, and Gary were all best friends, good friends, but it almost felt like David kind of leaned a little bit towards Gary, because it was like, when Gary says to Rick, sorry, I don't have the key to the grandparents' house. And
I
then
went
Rick's
along
like,
with him, yeah.
Right, you went along with it. It's like, yeah, that's true, that's true. And then he's like, hey, what about your guest house? He's like, nah. So it almost seemed like Gary and David they were seen together more too throughout the movie, because they were seen together earlier in the film when he asked him, can you find out where she lived? Which I always said, I have to say it now that I got Lawrence here. Man, I don't know why they wrote that for Gary, man, because it was kind of creepy the way Gary went on. Gary went about it. Gary went about it a little creep mode there by finding out where she lives. But and David
for a small fee, I could find out.
For a small fee. And I noticed that David always pays for. Why David always pay for everything? I mean, I know why, because we all got somebody in the crew that got the
just
money.
like real life.
They got a job. They got a job.
So real. So true. Your friends, somebody's got the money.
You got
somebody in your crew got a job. And like,
this
no,
movie
I got it.
It represented the crew, man. Back, you always had the one dude who was the ladies' man, who was always going after the girls, who had the balls to go after the girl and say something. That was the difference. You always had someone. So now I want to put y'all up on something. This is how we got down. I'm from New York as well, Strong Island. You know that, Diane.
Yeah.
So but here's the deal. Now, Lawrence, Joe, when back with my crew of friends, and I was telling this last week, we have something that's called skip time. Okay, so when
Ralph's shaking his head.
Right, Ralph shaking his head.
10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
No, listen. Okay, so when your crew people, and you all see a girl, and you all want to get at her, whoever goes first, the other person needs to give what we call skip time. Give them time to, do what they do, talk to them, and if they get shot down, all right, then you have permission to move in. It seems like
you can go in.
Right, then you can go in. Now, Laurent says 10 minutes. It depends. It depends. It's not 10 minutes.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. And Diane can back this up. Now, I'm quite sure in your life, Miss Franklin, you had a guy just cold come up to you and start talking to you.
Absolutely.
Women generally. All right. So if Lawrence and Joe, if I want to talk to you and Lawrence Joe looking and say, she's cute. Let me see how he does. If you start giggling or twirling your hair, it shows that you're attentive. But if you're like this,
absolutely. Yep.
Then you know that it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Then you know that it's not working, and that you're like, no.
No.
So I go walking off, and then I say, shot me down. You're like, okay. 10 minutes later, you go walking up to it and then see how you do. Absolutely.
Well, you give a little space before it so it doesn't look
10-minute buffer.
I have to. It has to be a little bit longer than 10 minutes if we're friends.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, 11 minutes.
Then, you gotta give a little time.
You gotta give a little time because
15,
I don't want her to.
15,
I don't want the girl to be, feeling like we scheming on her like that. It's just
you gotta be much smarter than that. Because girls are smart.
Well, let me say that as a gay man, it makes it really easy because, like, if it's me and Joe and some other guy, it's like, go ahead, Joe.
Well, actually, in the movie, in the scene in the ice cream place, you guys sent me to get the girls. Remember?
Yes, he
Yep,
did. That's
that's
right.
right.
They said David. But but once again, he represents.
yeah.
Yes, that's the seed. He represents
Yeah.
that dude that was he had the money, but he wasn't afraid to go talk to the girls too. Everybody has those type of people in the in their crew. But I
have a question for Joe. So Joe, you know how you always David writes in the notebook about how I owe money or Steve owes money. We ever pay you back?
Right.
Those characters ever pay you back?
No.
They still owe you. Plus the price
I
plus
still
inflation.
got
They
that
owe
written
you.
down.
You still got that pad? I was gonna. I'm glad you asked that, Lawrence, because I was gonna ask Joe that too. I'm gonna say, David seemed like he was the one. Maybe he's the only one who had a job. Maybe his parents had some money. Like, why was he always paying for stuff? Like, they're like, pay him, and he's like, okay, he paying, and he's writing it down. Got some crab cream.
I always thought that Joe's character was selling drugs. That's what I always thought.
Wow.
He always has money.
That could.
They didn't have no drugs.
That's what
They
I
didn't
thought.
have. They definitely didn't have no drugs. They had the makeshift.
He had the sweet and low. He had the sweet and low.
Yeah.
He just had it in his back pocket.
Right? Guys didn't know it.
I mean that scene. I can talk about it all night. I mean that scene is iconic. It's like, yo, you bring the girls back. Yo, y'all got drugs? Yeah, we got drugs. It's like, yo, then they get there like, we got drugs. Where's the drugs? You got sweet and low. No, that was great. So Lawrence, now you had an intense scene with Rick, where you come in and you're like, and y'all get into a shoving match in the library. Yeah. Here's a funny. Someone actually sent this question in. Who if it would have went down, who would have won that fight? Would it have been Gary or Rick?
Gary would have won.
Bring it on, pizza boy.
Yeah, Gary would have won that fight.
Gary would have won.
He was running off emotions. He was running off emotions.
Yeah, he was definitely emotional.
Yeah,
he had that adrenaline.
That kind of adrenaline and emotion, you usually win the fight.
Yeah, I think he would have won too.
Trained.
Yeah. Yeah, plus, Gary had the job. He was, he seemed like the one that was a little more athletic, had the job going on. Rick, lifting the pizzas, running from, men, chasing them. Yeah, it's just, that was a question somebody sent that. They like, who do you think would have won that fight? Rick was just, I think Gary would have won too. He had that love behind him. He had
the fire.
He had the fire, most definitely.
Exactly.
Also, another one of those little inside questions that only y'all would know. When it comes to the, because I've been doing a lot. I've been putting out a lot of they doing polls too. I've been putting out a lot of trivia questions that people have been answering about. Do you guys remember? I'll ask you guys. Do you remember what the name of the ice cream burger spot, wherever that y'all hung out at? You remember the name of the place? I just saw it in the movie. That's how I don't. Or did y'all even notice?
The real place,
the name that was shown in the film. I don't know if what the real place.
I do not.
I remember doing it. I just saw it today.
Yeah, it was something. I believe it was called the Golden Chicken. That's what I saw there. It's called the
Golden Chicken.
No,
yeah.
I think the Golden Chicken was what it really was.
Really?
Real
that
life.
was actually the name.
Yeah, it was called. Yeah.
So it got caught.
We went into a Golden Chicken and we shot the scene.
It was a golden chicken or golden bird or something like that. Yeah. It was called. Yeah.
And by the way, in that scene, which is interesting, Boaz was really good at working with us, going with the flow. With Joe and his dialect, he gave him the Big Apple. And with me, I can't ride a bike because I have hearing problems. So I'm on a bike and I go, like there's nothing, you can't even do it. So I was supposed to ride my bike into this, you were supposed to see me riding my bike in, and in that scene, I walk my bike out. So when I got that script and I saw that I had to ride a bike, I was like, I'm not saying anything until we get to set. And then when I got to set, I literally, like 2 minutes before we shoot it, I was like, oh, by the way, I can't ride a bike. And they're like, oh, and Boaz was like so great about it. But I really thought I'd get fired. I was so naive that I thought I'm gonna get fired for not being able to ride a bike. I had no idea how.
So then you just kept pushing it. There was a couple of times that we saw you pushing that bike. When you first came out,
right? You see,
and then I think somewhere one of those scenes by the golden chicken or whatever it was, where you was pushing the.
Now we're all looking for it. Yeah.
Here's another funny trivia question. There's only none of their last names and the characters was ever really mentioned except Gary's.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was one of the trivia questions that people had out there. Some people got it right, some people didn't. Most people did.
I think that's good because I think that all our characters were. Like it's like just the guy and the girl. I mean, like there's, like you said, this film is timeless.
It is.
I mean, aside from obviously it's very 80s, but we can relate to it at any time in history. It seems. I mean, that's what people have said to me. Like I went through that. I've been through that. I know. I mean, even when you're talking about like the crew and the guys, like that relationship is always there. So having just Karen and Gary and the Big Apple, I mean, like the names are so, it's just simple and clear, and we just understand everybody. I don't think you need last names really.
No, I guess
Spencer.
Spencer, yes, you're right.
I got caught in the rap with Mr. Spencer.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew you would know. Mrs. Spencer.
I'm just curious, Diane, with you saying that, would any of you like to see the movie remade now, or just leave it alone? Because I'm of a certain opinion that some movies you just don't ever touch.
Leave it alone.
That's what I'm thinking. I think you leave it alone. It alone.
So, Ralph, you can't remake. I mean, it was such an innocent film in so many ways, and I mean, we live in a different era and a different time. I mean, you would have to radically remake it. I mean, with social media,
That's what I would say. It'd be very cool to remake it.
Just totally redo it totally.
The sexting,
total spin on it. Yeah.
Like everything current, and have the same ending. That's what I would.
But now that part, that's the part. I think if you remake it today, you wouldn't get the same. I think you would get the ending that we would have liked seeing, the two of you actually linking up and going hand in hand down, the yellow brick road into the sunset. I think that's
the sequel. That's what Lawrence and I do now.
It can't happen, man. It can't happen.
And Joe, you're running a company. You work with Lawrence. I work at Hot Dog on a Stick. I'm married to Rick. He breaks my heart. We have 3 kids.
Oh my goodness!
And Lawrence and I have the love scene everybody's always wanted to see.
That everybody wanted to see, right? Yeah, I mean, it was just so. That'd be hilarious. That would just be hilarious. But I mean, this whole. Yeah, you threw me off with that. Look,
it's like a sequel, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the people that always feel I'm always down on remakes anyway, but it would be tough and to remake it now. I agree with Lawrence on that one because of the today the climate that we live in now. So it's just like they'll be canceling the film, because I mean it was some intense stuff he talked about, the abortion and stuff like that, and it was just like,
isn't it weird that it was easy to talk about that stuff then, and now it's difficult? Isn't that odd?
Yes,
it is so weird.
Yes, it is.
It's so weird to me.
A lot of stuff was easy to talk about back then.
Yeah. It's just so weird because that scene, and I wanted to mention that anyway. That scene, that I thought it was interesting that Boaz decided to, kind of like show a little bit of that sequence where she is getting ready, and did you see all the pain that she's going through to get ready,
the mental anguish
to do this? Yeah, the mental
so
anguish behind it. It was really, really
raw,
very powerful the way he did that. It was raw, exactly, and I thought it was really cool the way he did it. The way, from a cinematic standpoint, I thought it was cool the way he did it. But I mean, like that right now, people would be like hashtag cancel the last American version.
Yeah.
It's like
picket lines outside, all kinds of shit.
You're right. That's true.
They go crazy. But I mean, I thought to me, it adds to the fact that all of the pain and that she was going through emotionally during that scene, but it really just drives home the whole ending again. You're like, what? It makes you want to break your TV.
Yeah, Gary did all that, and then he got screwed. Poor Lawrence.
I know. Like I said, you just feel like you just want to give him a big hug and say, "It's okay, it's okay. You're better off without her."
Oh man,
that's how you just feel like you just want to do.
Yeah, I think Gary probably, after a few years of therapy, through the burn, had to set healthy, appropriate boundaries with girls like Karen, and be like, look, you're clearly not, giving back what I'm feeling for you, so I'm going to move over here. I mean, I think that they all of the characters were really dysfunctional. I mean, they were high school kids, but I mean, each one of them really had, they all had.
They all.
I think Gary got with Rose. That's what I think. I mean, Gary got with Rose.
What about Joe's character with Rose too? Like, I thought that would be going on, right? She kept liking her, and she kept liking Gary. It was one of those. He liked me. It was a cycle.
Yeah, it was a cycle. But do you think now? This is for you, Diane. In Karen's head, do you think Karen was she interested in Gary at all, or not really interested? But do you think? Because right from the beginning, they had the opportunity, right? And we've talked about this on shows in the past. It's like, what could Gary have done to avoid that ending? Yeah. Maybe if he would have moved right in and been more aggressive. Do you think that's what she was looking for, or do you think that Karen really was
slow? You blow
Gary at the moment?
Yeah, you know what? And I love this because we as a cast have never discussed together what we think our characters would have done or not. And so I'm really interested also, Florence, and what people have said to you about Karen, because I don't get that. I get I get information about you, and sometimes Joe too, and Rose. I get you guys. But my feeling was that if Gary had fought for me at the end, I would have gone to Gary. Oh. That's what I always thought. But I was kind of waiting for him to make the move, and he just was not happening because I wasn't going.
Not to be methody and still fight for Gary, but just a few scenes ago, he did sort of like save kind of your life and then
run it
in a house, his grandmother's house, and then tenderly kiss you, saying how much he loved you, and then the next time he sees you, you're making out with his friends. So I don't know how much more people. You wanted him to fight for you.
There you go. See, look, wait a minute, look at that picture. Look at the love in his eyes and how he's holding his hand to your face so gently. He's like, I love you. But Gary, if you would have went up there and you would have punched Rick in the face, then you would have got her. That's what would have happened.
Man, did he have to do all of that? He had to go.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it would have took.
I'm not saying I was a good person. I'm telling you.
No.
That I was good.
That's a perfect. That's a perfect segue that Lawrence mentioned. So when that scene happened, let's get in Gary and let's get in Gary and Karen's head real quick. So forward and back to the other picture you had when they were in the house.
Yeah. That scene,
okay,
right?
He finally admits his love to her, right? He finally admits it. She's seemed to be surprised. Receptive, but she seemed to be surprised as well that he loved her or whatever. I watched this just the other day. She actually was the first one who put the hand on the face, like invited him for the kiss.
Yeah, she set you up. She set you up.
She said, "We got Joe back." Yeah, she did the hand thing. Oh, I don't know what happened, but we got you back.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Laura. I'm sorry, Gary.
She put the hand first.
I'm sorry, I made a
Gary,
mistake.
she gave him, in my opinion, that's the green light. She gave him the green light to give the kiss, and then when he kissed her, she obviously kissed him back. So, and here's another thing that my brother, I told my brother to call in because I wanted him to bring up his point. It's another thing me and him always go in after. It's like, okay, so now they kiss, and the next scene you see Gary, he's buying the thing for her birthday. He refers to her as his girlfriend. Now, the question is, did that kiss, did that mean they boyfriend and girlfriend? Was there any,
I don't think so.
No, I agree with you. I think Gary needed to just
pump the brakes.
I don't think anything happened.
See, that's what I was going to say. Looking at it today, it gives the idea that the two of you actually made love, and then that's why he's saying it. Because I equate that to like with the movie Forrest Gump, where Forrest did all these things for Jenny, and when he finally tells her I love her, she's like, well, I want to. When you marry, he's like, you won't marry me. He says, I know what love is. But then you see them actually to him having sex, and then she leaves. So when I thought about that today, I said, so did they actually have sex when it fades to black, and then it goes into him in the store buying the necklace? Is that what happened? Is that why he's looking at her so not at the end? He's not looking at her really mad. He's looking at her like really coldly, like, I can't believe you just did this. Like, we just did this last night, and you're back with this fool?
Nah, I know they didn't. They definitely didn't, because I believe, even though, then again, it's a good question because we probably wouldn't have saw it even if they wanted to, because Lawrence was so young at the time when they shot.
No, I don't think that they did. I think that Gary was, maybe heartful to a point, to a not a good point, and I think that Karen and Diane, I mean, I'm not speaking for you, but I think Karen liked at that point in her young life the bad boy, and no matter how much this group guy. I mean, I have female friends that are like this. That I have male friends that gay friends that it's like you want to like the good person that is committed to you.
You're attracted.
Like,
the bad boy is always more attractive. The bad boy is always more attractive.
You don't marry the bad boy, hopefully.
No, you don't marry the bad boy.
But you marry the good guy. But here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, Lawrence, because obviously doing this as me, Gary, but and I'm really also glad, Ralph, that you said like they were, the thought we ever love, and the thing about and at that time, like I think this is really important for the audience. Anything can happen,
Yeah.
Like love, they could, just be sleeping next to each other. You don't know, but the intimacy, like,
right.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, look at that. It just looks so. I like when I was a teenager. It's hard at that young age to tell a girl that you actually love her, not like her, but you love her.
Right, love.
And to
very big difference.
Right, and to actually say it, and not only say it, but to look you straight in the face and say I love you, and for you to look back at me, and you may not be saying it, but me look at you, I may think that you're thinking it, that I do as well. Then to have the kiss, so I think that's why the ending is just hits so hard, like wow. And as Lauren said, in nowadays, I think it could mess with a guy. I'm gonna say maybe it's better. I never, like, if I'm going through this now, what's later in the future in life? If I tell someone I love them, do I have this? Exactly. Do I have this to look forward to?
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
you're talking about a trust issue. You lose your trust in women because my character, I would think like I played that character really like a good person. I didn't want you to see it coming.
Yeah. Oh no.
Nobody sees it coming. That is what makes it so crazy is, I know guys, you date a girl and you don't see it coming. And okay, love is blind. You do not see it coming. And that's what I think that feeling, I think it resonates and it resonates. But, that film will never be forgotten because of that.
On the other hand,
that was awesome.
Wait, Wes, hold on.
Yeah,
Diane. One of the things that's really interesting is the how much pain that Karen experiences in seeing the absolute devastation in this boy, and it's almost like Gary's pain and his eyes is like a mirror for you as far as what you did. Like, not you, Diane.
Of course, Karen.
Yeah, did. And she may have had her own reasons, and Gary may have been unrealistic, and obviously he got so many signals that this girl is not into him and should. But I'm just saying that I think that to see the kind of pain that that character created in another character, I think caused her a lot of pain because I think she liked Gary a lot, but it's not what was floating her boat at that time in her life.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was. I had to show that scene because it was just, that it was a lot going on in that scene.
Yeah, and I think
quick little moment.
I think that's what makes this is such a good scene because you can see it in a couple of different ways.
Even Rick looked like he felt bad. Even Rick looked like
everybody goes, I do know this.
It's so beautifully shot that it does not look like a low budget movie. I mean,
not at all.
The close up of Gary and then Diane and then him turning. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it was good. No, that was framed perfectly the way they shot that. I actually said that as well when I was watching it again. I'm like, the way they framed that out, everything, the way it went down. It was, and like I said, it was so much going on in those few seconds. But that's what makes the scene great, I think. Yeah.
Well,
you see Karen.
Ended. Whoa, big difference, right?
That's what people are like, wait a second. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, that's the end? No, hell no.
I know.
I was like, that can't be the end. And that was it. I mean, I don't know what else could have happened.
He turns around. He turns around and goes like he turns around and go get his woman. Like, nah.
No. If anything was going to happen, it would be Karen running out.
I would go with that too.
I could have run out. That's true. I never thought of that.
I would have went with that one. That would if she came running out the house, and it would have been dramatic if she would as you're driving off, she comes out the house and you never see her, but she comes in to say I do love you, but you're so distraught that you're just driving off into the dark. That would have been like, wow.
She throws herself in front of the car and he hits the gas pedal. Boom. She goes,
I'm holding on to the hood.
He kills
her.
Wow, that's the
remake. I like that one too. That's a good one. That's a good remake right there.
But it was just so the 40th anniversary is coming up, right? Next year, I think.
Oh, you're right. Wow.
The 40th anniversary.
That's crazy. 40.
That's so awesome, though.
Goodness.
That's the fact that everybody is still. I mean, everyone who I know who saw the film is just like, man, I love that film.
No.
So it's just like, but it's coming up. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys will probably start getting invited to cons and stuff like that to be a part of. Things like this.
Has the company hit any of you up about us putting the movie like those Phantom events, like putting in the theater for like a one night showing with the cast there to talk about the movie? That would be awesome.
We've done some before. Go ahead, Lawrence.
What was that director's name? Big director. He hosted the thing.
Eli Roth.
Yeah, on Beverly, right? We did that a bunch of years ago.
Oh, yeah. Beverly. Quentin Tarantino has a theater. New Beverly. And was it there?
It wasn't Eli Roth. It was the New Beverly. It was Brett Ratner.
Oh,
Brett
really?
Ratner wanted to do a remake of it. He had
Yeah. Brett Ratner wanted to do a remake.
Maybe it was
yeah.
Eli Roth, but yeah, we did that one night at the New Beverly. They screened it.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see it on the big screen. I saw it on TV, but
is the UK version, and Eli Roth made a little book about it. Oh my goodness, the best version I've seen is the UK version, like a Blu-ray with a beautiful little book, and Eli Roth wrote this forward on it, and so it's a really nice piece if anyone likes to get it, if they can get it.
I just bought the Blu-ray. I was searching to find it, and when I was in LA, I was in Amoeba Records because they just moved and they had it. I was like, oh my god. So
I love it. They have everything.
No, there's been a lot of great promo posters.
Have you been to the new location for Amoeba Records? Yeah, it's now on. It was on Sunset. Now it's on Hollywood Boulevard. It's a block away from Capitol Records, the Capitol Records building. Right. It's oh man, it's just as big. It doesn't have the 2 floors. It's just like a small little set of stairs where now they have some books and stuff. But it's no longer the 2 floors, so they kind of like expanded the floor space. So like all the movies and DVDs and records are all on the floor, and then they have a small little upper section where you can get graphic novels and magazine stuff. But it still has that old school record environment there. I love
that.
Yeah.
We need more of
That's awesome.
Yes, we do.
I'm just gonna read off a couple of the people in the chat room. They love y'all. They're dropping stuff out there. I think I put this up before. Ricky says, "Hi, Lawrence. You are an incredible actor. That's what's up." And let's see. And Robert says, "Hi, Larry. Met Diane in 2016. Real sweet."
He gave me an award. This guy. He gave me an actual statue. I was like, "My goodness." Yeah. He was. I mean, I was shocked. Amazing. He gave me an award. There you go, Robert.
So Robert also said, "My heart went out to you, an American Virgin." Everyone says that. It went out to Gary, not Lawrence, but it went out to the character. But he,
Joe left. You had to go.
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, we had lost him once, then he came back on.
Okay.
Then and we lost him again. Let's see if we see anybody else in here. I guess this is when Diane first came on. They was like, "Diane!"
Hi, Ricky.
So everybody's that there. There's someone else in here. Let's see here. This one here. So they both have very good on screen chemistry. Evidently, Gary tells great acting from both of them. Best part of the film. Yeah, that. I agree. That was a great part of the film. Gary still hesitant to tell her how he felt. He finally belted it out. And he got a kiss from it. That's all he got. I'm just saying. Diane, Diane is a great sport because we was giving her a hard time the first time.
Last time she was on the show.
Yeah, we were giving her a hard time. We were riding out for you, Lawrence. We was riding out for Gary.
She owes you an apology. She owes you an apology, some dinner, some gift cards, some.
That's what I'm telling you, that we need a sequel so that I can make it up to him. You got to see me, Karen, make it up to him.
Here's a funny question. Someone asked this, and it's actually it was never a question to me, but people said, "Who was the last American Virgin, Gary or Karen?"
Oh, it's Gary.
I'll let y'all answer. It's Gary. The movie's about Gary. You've seen it through Gary's eyes.
Gary, the sequels are about Gary. It's the whole twist. It's the boy that's the last American Virgin. Diane, I had a question for you. When you were so young, also when we did the film and when it came out, I mean, did you get a lot of like blowback just on the street? I know when I did Mask, you know how my character really like accidentally screws over like Eric Stoltz's character of Rocky Dennis, and I got a lot of, dude, how could you treat him that way? And did you get that?
So here's what happened, and I'm glad you said that. That's why I was very kind of, I mean, I didn't even realize it, but I was kind of very shy during that time when the film came out, and I went right into working a lot of stuff. So I think, people didn't really say anything to me. I think they kept it themselves. But then, like, I heard people would say, like, later on, I heard, oh, yeah, we saw it in a drive-in, and, like, the word biatch just went all over like, heard echoed throughout the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I know that people have said to me, like, oh, my God, I hated you so much. But they say with this, they say with the love that they felt for me because,
Right.
but the more conventions sometimes, but when it came out, no, I didn't have any feedback, but I did have something funny. I had a director who wanted to work with me, and he said, I have to find a way to make people like you because the audience is not going to trust you from that movie. And I went, what are you talking about? Like,
wow,
I was
really?
so bizarre that movie had such a large effect. That director would even say that he was trying to make me really like super cute in a way. It was just kind of interesting. I mean, I always thought like, okay, as you do, Lawrence, we play different roles, and it's a role, it's a part, and you play it as realistically as you can. But it is interesting that like the audience can see you as something, and then that's they believe that that's all you are, or you can play whatever.
No, not me. But I guess maybe they was acting that was like your first feature. Yeah, it's your first feature. Maybe that's why they were, kind of acting like that. But the fact that you came out with it with that.
So I stayed away. I guess I didn't hear any flack. I didn't hear it.
No, you didn't hear any flack.
But I did have guys be into me, like, hi. I got the look.
Hey, I'm a bad boy. Hey, I'm a bad boy. Well, that's funny you said that. So Heaven Hollywood says, me and my boys used to fight over who was finer. It was Diane Franklin or Phoebe Cates.
Oh, I am honored.
Was you aware back then? Was you aware back then that Phoebe Cates was kind of like, I don't want to say your rival, but amongst guys, they were like, hey, who is hotter?
I mean, I literally, like, Phoebe Cates was she was like the Farrah Fawcett of her time to me. Like, she was just like so beautiful and so stunning. So I am honored that you even put me in the same sentence. Even if I'm just there, like, yeah, you go. Because she was, but it is interesting. Fast Times and Virgin, we were like the girls, y'all
said it. Y'all set the tone. So, and here's another one. I'll read another one. It says, The Last American Virgin is a great film. Thanks to Diane Franklin. A remake could never have the same impact. I agree.
I agree.
The remake would never have the same impact. Yeah. Even all right, let's take away the whatever, the cancel culture, right? Take that away. I still think it doesn't have the same punch. Doesn't have this, it just doesn't. Now, I'd probably rather see a continuation than a remake, if anything.
Agreed.
Even if it was something, I mean, I don't want to see that either, but I'm just saying I'd rather see that than a remake. Because we've done whole shows just killery. We have a whole list of terrible remakes. It was like, why ruin it for us? Why ruin
exactly? Just leave. So I've always had the opinion, if you're going to remake a movie, remake it because it was a movie that, let's say, the special effects weren't that great, as sophisticated or today, and you can remake that one and you have it stand on its own. But teen comedies, love stories, leave it the way it was. Last American Virgin. Do not touch Pretty Woman. Don't do Dirty Dancing. Leave it, because it symbolizes a time period of our lives that we, I don't know what generation we are, that we can relate to.
We're Generation X.
No, we're not Generation X. I think we're baby boomers. Well, I think I'm a baby boomer, bro. I think I'm a baby boomer. Right?
No, you're not, bro. But go ahead.
But it reflects a time of innocence, going into adulthood, first loves, first crushes, and I don't want to see, because the films that they try to do that up today that has emotion, it doesn't pack the same emotion to me, and it's not because I'm older and supposedly I can't relate to the young movie. It's just that it doesn't seem. It really seems like it's fake and forced. It doesn't seem natural. Last American Virgin is very natural. Even Pretty Woman, to a degree, is very natural of how
the pacing,
exactly.
Today's pacing is much faster, and today people I really have to say this is interesting for young people to watch it. I wonder if it moves. I don't think it does, but I wonder for somebody who watches it now, is it too slow or is it just the right pace for somebody who watches it? Does it have the same impact? I really wonder. If you're a young person, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we'd like to hear.
Yeah,
from
that'd be interesting to find out.
It doesn't have that same, how do they, how does it resonate with them? I mean, I times were different back then. Obviously, our young ages, teenage years were different. Like, for instance, now even within the last, I don't know, since the new millennial, like high school isn't like it used to be. Like, you don't have like nerds, jocks, but like they're all one now. Like you got smart jocks and you got athletic nerds now.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah. It's not as well. We're not working towards that diversity there. We're trying to work on
where everybody is kind of segregated or whatever. Where it's just like, oh, you got nerds, jocks, stoners, and
the mean girls.
Right?
The only one that's still around is the mean girls.
I have to say something. This is really important, and I think, we're really getting to the center of this discussion. Okay, so I work with kids who are in middle school, and I'm going to tell you something. When you're in elementary school, you learn, everybody's learning the same, and everyone's trying to, everyone's given, everybody learns the same thing. Once you hit middle school, it's now a part of, even education, where they're saying, be an individual. Who are you? What's your specialty? What makes you you? And once you figure out who you are, well, then if you're this must be something else. It's other. And so because of that way of development where everyone's working together, that jock, that singer, that person still happens today because it's about defining who you are. The problem is, can we go back to in high school and embrace each other? That's the trick. So yeah, there is those things still happen. I'm the nerdy, I'm the person, because it's sort of redefining who we are, But at the same time, why can't the jock play football? Why can't the jock read a book? And why can't the nerd play volleyball? And why can't the theater kid, do math, whatever, So anyway,
I think that we're living in a much, much more inclusive world. And even though we were talking earlier about this kind of cancel culture, which maybe that's a negative aspect of things, but I mean, back then, we were living in such a heteronormative world where it was like the boy and the girl and the jock, and there was no inclusion of minorities or of gay people or queer people.
Absolutely.
So I think that in so many ways the world is so much better, and I know that
definitely different, different in a better way,
That's why if they do a remake of Virgin, it should be LGBTQ. Yeah, LGBTQ.
Or something, Listen, I'm going to have to get going pretty soon.
Yep.
So,
well, let me leave you with this.
Honor.
It was an honor having you on and taking time out and being with us, man. Just 40th anniversary is coming up. Just my last question, I guess, to you is just how, this film has made the impact on people. If Diane mentioned about the younger generation watching it, is there anything you want them to take away from it? Or just okay, hey, it's just what it was. It was what it was. The actual film.
To take away from the Last American Virgin.
The lesson.
I think the lesson is complicated for all of the characters. But I think that take away just how tender we are. Everybody's heart, especially when, I think forever, but especially when we're forming, to make connections and expose yourself and be vulnerable. And I just think that we can all treat each other with a little bit more tenderness and for ourselves and in all of our, all of our communities.
That's a perfect answer. Love it. Lawrence, it's been awesome.
If this happens to you, well, there's hope. You know, you'll find the right
Yeah.
person. This person wasn't meant for you. You know, move on and understand everybody goes through pain, you know, in love. If you love something and it doesn't work out, it's gonna hurt. And you know what? You've lived. Like, that's major, you know.
Yeah.
True.
You haven't if you're not hurt, you're not in love, you know. So
Yeah. Well,
So good to see you, Wes.
thank you
for
so
having
much,
me.
Lawrence, man. It's been an
Thank you.
honor having you on.
Thank you.
Diane, I appreciate you for coming on. We know we'll get you on again. Yeah, y'all have a good night.
thank you,
Thanks,
Lawrence.
guys.
It was so much
Yes.
fun. See you next
Diane,
year.
I'll see you.
40th anniversary.
See you next year.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you have it, man. That was Lawrence and Diane, man. It was great having them on. Always great having them on. I love having
I like how he
Diane.
said that. He's like, that's bullshit. He's like, that's bullshit.
I always
That's
love having
bullshit.
Diane. I always love having Diane on. We're still going to, we're still going to do our drawing for everybody. Remember, #LavRocks. Everybody, get your comments in. #LavRocks. I'm going to do a drawing for a giveaway, and we'll give away some stuff. It was cool, man. I'm still going through some of the.
A lot of comments, man. Thank you to everybody watching this show tonight, man.
Yeah.
No,
Diane, Lawrence, thank you for having us. Beloved film. This fans appreciate it. That's true.
I'm gonna speak for myself since I guess I'm generation baby boomers. A lot of the younger generation today don't even like the movies from the 80s and 70s. They think that they're boring, that they're slow, that this. But if younger people are watching this show right now, really go back and look at them. There was a lot of innocence and first time coming that you don't get in films today. That's why they make so many remake of so many stuff from the 80s and try to update it to modern times. And why? And you want to know, well, why doesn't it work? Even if you say like, hey, that movie was good, go back and look at the original and then tell me if that remake worked or not. Because believe me, it doesn't.
It does. I think one of the biggest issues that this younger generation has, not to say issues, but a lot of times, they're really hung up on technology and things like that, and they don't look at older films and appreciate them as much because they're like, oh, it just looks old. Like, it looks old. Like, they always say that. Like, I hear that a lot.
I've heard it too.
Generation, and they're like, "Oh, it just looks old."
Like, I've heard
you
people
have to watch it for what it is. Yes, of course, at that time it didn't look old when we watched it, but it's still the storyline is that's not old. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
So,
like I've heard people say I don't want to watch Jaws because the
80s is my decade.
The shark looks fake, or I don't want to see Star Wars because we got the new ones, or the original Friday the 13th. But go back and watch them.
You gotta watch them because you're not watching them just for what they look like on the screen. You're watching them for the story, because back then stories were better. I'm sorry, they
much
were
better.
They were more original. They were more, they were better. Like I said, these things. For the younger generation, do you think we would have never had an American Pie if there was no Last American Virgin?
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? American Pie, or any of these, Super Bad, or any of these movies that are more recent that the youth generation
that you guys love. We
wouldn't have had that. Nope. Yeah, we wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for movies like Fast Times, Valley Girl, and Last American Virgin.
Yeah, Repo Man, all those. Look at the Breakfast Club. I think the Breakfast Club is like the crown jewel of those movies. It's the Breakfast Club, right? But I'm going to be honest with you, the 70s and 80s, when you saw a movie that was remade, it was generally a movie that was remade from a foreign film into an American version. Like La Cage aux Folles was remade into The Birdcage, some of that. But they didn't take The Godfather that was made in the 70s and redo it in the 80s as The Godfather. It didn't happen because there was the talent in Hollywood at that time. The writers, the directors, the producers, they were talented enough to hunt for that script of trying to find that hidden jewel. And nowadays, you don't really, you very rarely get a hidden jewel. You very rarely see a movie that isn't already some sort of intellectual property. Most of it's
Yeah.
based on something. It's very few
Yeah.
movies that come out today that you like. Let me get my finger.
Yeah.
You all like. That's totally original. Very, very
Yeah.
few.
So
that's
let
the
me do
sad
a draw. I'm gonna do the drawing. So because we're coming down to near the end of the show, so I don't want nobody to get out of here before the drawing happens. So everyone, put in last minute hashtag Lav Rocks LAV Last American Virgin Rocks. Put that in if you haven't already. If you have, great. We're gonna do the drawing, and how we're gonna do this very simply. I'll put up on screen. The drawing's gonna come up. Your name is gonna pop up, and if you are hopefully still watching, paying attention, I'll put the email address, and you guys can email us any information that you need. We'll send you your gift, which would the one we was looking at was the Blu-ray version of the Last American Virgin. There's a couple other things in there we was looking at too. Some cash, like a card or whatever, like an Amazon card, gift card. So let's do it.
Nah, it's a Burger King card. Everybody like Burger King.
Burger
Everybody
King
likes
card.
some fries. No, McDonald's. Everybody like McDonald's fries. Does
Everybody
everybody like McDonald's? Better yet,
Not
what do y'all
everybody
like-
likes.
What do y'all like better? What do you like better? Do you all out there like French fries or onion rings?
No,
I'm going onion
Then
rings.
you're not. Don't listen to Ralph. Y'all not getting none of that. All right, here we go. We gonna do the draw here. Who's gonna? And if the IE network comes up, we'll redraw because that's not gonna happen. Oh, we have a winner.
Congratulations.
What is that? Bogart
McFly.
There we go.
I like
Bogart
that
McFly.
name.
I love
I
the
like
name.
that name. That
The
is
name
an awesome name.
That is great. So we have a winner. I don't know if he or she is still with us. If they are, you are the winner. I'm gonna put the let's see. I'm going. He said, "How do you do the hashtag, Robert Boy?" Oh, just it's the number sign. Hashtag's the number sign. We'll do one more, Robert.
Right.
If you want to throw it in there, we'll do one more. But anyway, let me put in the email for us here. Email Real Talk Radio @gmail.com. Send us your. Oh, there you go.
Bogart
There.
McFly, man.
There.
Congratulations,
There we go.
man.
Congratulations.
Man, that is a cool on-screen name, Bogart McFly.
Yeah. You should. Yeah, I was about to say you should have won just on the name. So that's where we're gonna send us your info. Info meaning like an email, because all of the gifts will be sent from straight from Amazon. So I can, we can send the gift to you to your email straight from Amazon. So that's what's up. And what's it, Joseph Tanner? He was one of the winners. He can vouch for us. We send you the gift.
Yes.
Joseph won once before and we sent it to you. But make sure you send us.
I think you guys send him a T-shirt too. I think you should send him a T. I think he should get a T-shirt. A Real Talk T-shirt.
We'll send you a Real Talk T-shirt, but we'll also send you the Last American Virgin Blu-ray edition. So that's what's up, man. Congratulations. Please make sure you send it to us. Real Talk Radio @gmail, or let's give you another one too, just in case. You can send it right to mine, Clark Director @gmail.com. Make sure you send us the your info, your email. That's what we need so we can get you that gift. We appreciate y'all for playing. And I know Robert was asking, how do you do the hashtag? Hashtag is the number sign. That's the number sign, Robert. It's not like it would be like this.
Yes,
it would be hashtag
or the pound
Lav Rocks. It would be like that. That's pretty much how it looks.
Joseph, I forget about that sometimes. Caddyshack, because I guess Caddyshack was more grown-ups than teenagers, but
Yeah,
I think it would go up in there. That's another one. I mean, it's just a great.
I mean, just all of
It's
these
a great
all of
movie.
these ones, man.
But
Like I said, the youth they're too busy on aesthetics. They're like, oh, it looks old. It looks old. But
yeah,
that's not what The Last American Virgin. First of all, just like they said when they were up here, it looked great. It didn't look like a low budget film. It was
not at all.
it was considered low budget when they shot it. And I'm disappointed that Joe Robo kind of he knocked off there, because I wanted to ask him one thing I did want to ask him is, it looks like they all did their own stunts in this film. When he gets thrown into the pool.
I wanted to ask him what happened. What happened to Jerry Idol, the girl that played Roxanne in the beginning, the one that he was linking up with?
Oh,
no, he wasn't linking up. He was linking up
with her. He just went and grabbed them all in. He was linking up with the other one, the blonde. The one Rick got the hot one.
Rick got the hot couple. I was like, Lord, where they find her at?
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen. I was looking at that too.
She never did nothing else after that. She just did the one movie, and now, but man, she was gorgeous. I found her name, Jerry Idol.
It was Jerry Idol. Yeah, that was her name, Jerry Idol.
Yeah, that's her name.
I mean, that's crazy. So let me put. Go ahead.
And speaking of that, last week me and Wes was up here talking about some of our favorite nude scenes. Phoebe Cates, obviously. But I had me thinking the other day. I said, no, we need to do something committed. So what if we was to do our top 10 list of actresses who we would have liked to see nude that have never been nude on screen? That's something a little harder to do.
It's kind of hard to do too, because a lot of them were at some point in their career.
But you know what? I started looking, and there's a couple people who I thought of that have never done a nude screen. I like Christian Bell. I think Christian Bell is gorgeous. I think she's sexy. She's funny. She has never done a nude scene.
You sure about that? Because she was on that show with Don Cheadle.
Yes, but
they did sex scenes though.
But she's never done a nude scene.
Oh, okay. Okay,
same thing like with Regina Hall. Regina Hall has never done a nude scene, which I was like, wow, really? I thought she did, but no, she has never done. I mean, and even though someone like Jessica Alba has done like a silhouette kind of thing, she has never done like I guess you want to say a full frontal nude, like topless or completely. She's never done that. So I was like, maybe we should do something a little different. Maybe we should do 10 celebrities who we would have liked to have seen nude.
That's good.
On
Thought too.
That might be a little harder to do.
Harder than you think. A lot of people don't know early in careers. A lot of people did do nude scenes.
Mm-hmm. It takes some. They
don't want you to remember, but they did.
Right. It takes some looking to figure that one out. But I was just going through some stuff, and I said those three. I even said like Angela Bassett, and then never, but.
Well, I knew that's the first person that came to mind was Angela Bassett.
Yeah. No, but never.
Yeah, that's most definitely. So definitely Bogart McFly. Congratulations, Tanner says. Congratulations, Bogart McFly. Yeah, I love that name. That name is awesome.
Man. That is just an awesome.
Make sure you email. I put the email in there. It's realtalkradioshow@gmail.com. Or you can email my actual Gmail. Either way, because I'll be the one sending it. It could be clarkdirector@gmail. Anyone or both. Doesn't matter. We want to make sure you get your gift for playing and following direction and coming in and putting in hashtag Lab Rocks. It was a good show. I mean, I
really good show.
It was a really good show, man. People, thank you. We want to thank everybody that joined in and was watching and putting in the chat room and keeping the chat room popping. We love it. For those of you that may be watching the show after the fact, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and share this with your friends to make sure that everyone gets to see it. Obviously, it's in. I put this I've been promoting this for the last month. And Lawrence is real cool, man. That was our first time ever interviewing him.
I was really liking.
I really liked him, man. He's very, very laid back dude, but he's very cool, man. I loved his answers too. His final answer was awesome. Diane, we love. Diane, we love. You know, yeah, that was funny. You like, no, that's some bullshit. That was hilarious. That was hilarious because that almost seemed a little out of character for him. He's an American. Diane, we always love. Every time we'll probably be getting her on again soon, maybe for Halloween show or something. We might bring her right back on for like a Halloween
about
show,
Amityville,
you know,
the Amityville
about
series.
the Amityville. Because remember, she was on.
She's in two of them.
Two of them. Yeah. She's probably the only one. She may be the only actress to ever get killed twice in the same series. Two different characters. Think about that. She was the daughter in the original one, the Possession, and then when she did the other film, she played the mother, the DeFeo mother.
I didn't see the other one. I didn't see the other one. I saw number 2.
She might be the only one to get killed twice in the same series
as different characters.
Two different characters, but same actor. So that's
because I was going to say I know the girl in Hellraiser. She died twice, but she's the same character. The one that actually, yeah, not the daughter, but the stepmother. Because in the first one she dies, and then in the second one she died again, right? But she's playing the same person.
She's playing the same person, but I don't think I've ever had a situation where she died twice in the same series.
What about
characters?
What about Danielle Harris? I mean, in the second,
okay,
but she didn't die.
She didn't die.
Either Halloween, either Halloween
can't be
series.
Danielle Harris. She didn't die. She died in the Rob Zombie film, right? Because she played a different character too.
She played a different character, but I don't think she even died in the zombie. I think she got hurt, messed up really badly, but I don't think she died.
That's a good one. Something else to look look into. But right now, Diane Franklin is what I know. We'll look into it, see if anyone else has ever done that, because she did come back into the series. She definitely didn't die in the Halloween 4 or 5. She did not die in those.
Not as a little kid, no.
Yeah, not as a little kid, and I thought she died in the Rob Zombie film, but I don't know. Yeah, Robert confirmed. He said, "True, the daughter, then the mom." Yeah, he was talking about. Yeah, that's Diane Franklin's her two different characters she played. So that's cool. So we may try to get her back for the Halloween show if she's not busy. Call in and we'll talk about some scary stuff with her. Lawrence, I'd love to talk to him again anytime, man. He was cool. He was very
Halloween.
Cool.
Anytime, man.
Well, shoot, I
forgot that he was in Mask. I mean that.
Well, shit, he was also in the Friday the 13th. Speaking of horror films, he was in the Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
The final chapter. Yep.
He was in that. Yeah, that was also. I'm trying to remember. Did we see him? Did his character? His character definitely got killed, but I don't remember seeing him get killed. I don't remember. It's
been a minute since I seen the fourth one. I think he was.
I know his character. His character was named Ted.
But he wasn't the one that was messing with the twins. No.
He. Well, they had the twins, and then Then there was he was kind of like, he was the dude who was like kind of like the odd man out again. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they didn't typecast him on that one. You're gonna play the dude who's the odd man out. But but I don't remember seeing him get killed. I guess he did. I have to go back and watch it. But anywho, thanks again, Robert. You've been great in there. He said he met Danielle. She got hurt, not dead. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah, she got hurt really bad, but he didn't kill her in the movie.
So he didn't kill her. And didn't she play Annie in the movie too? And this time Annie doesn't die, I guess. I played Annie in Rob Zombie's film.
In Zombie's movie, I think she was the sheriff's daughter.
Sheriff's daughter.
But I think that's a different character than what she did in.
No, I'm not saying that's a different character.
I don't think the same character.
The original, the sheriff's daughter was Annie, right? And then let's see, who's the so Ricky says his death scene is shown in Friday the 13th. It is. I don't remember it. Wow, I don't remember it. Because I know
Probably find
every
it on
now and then
YouTube.
I must find
You
it.
find it on YouTube.
Every now and then you have a couple of characters that you just don't see. Like I remember in Friday 13 Part 3, the one dude who was like the practical Joker, how Jason got his hockey mask. You never saw how he got killed. You just saw him dead later in the, when they start finding the bodies. But you never, his name was like whatever, Shelly or whatever the name was. They never showed Shelly get killed. But all you saw was Jason with his hockey mask, so you knew
exactly.
But that was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, so before we sign off once again, say thanks, Robert, everyone who came through, man. Heaven Hollywood's in there holding down the chat room, making some funny chats in
jokes.
there.
I got you.
Joke, he's in there with the jokes. Bogart McFly with your awesome name. Make sure you send us the email with your email so we can get you your gift. Thanks for playing. We want to thank Joseph, of course, always in there holding it down.
And Joseph, I'm looking forward to that Chucky series. Our Child Play series. I'm like, it's got to be good because I think most of the original cast members from the actual movies are going to be on this show. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this thing. It had better be good. It had better.
Robert also confirmed. He also confirmed what I was saying. So Danielle was the friend in the remake, right? So yeah, she was Annie, but this time I guess her fate wasn't the same as the original movie where Annie dies. That was the sheriff's daughter. The new one I look forward to as well. The new one looks really good. The new Halloween Kills looks really
2
good.
weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
I'm working on getting somebody from there.
2 weeks.
Matter of fact, I should reach out to
2 weeks
Danielle.
away.
It's 2 weeks away. Yeah, I'm working on somebody. I'm not going to mention who it is, but I'm working on somebody from that film. Hopefully, I can get them in for our Halloween show. If not, we'll see. I'm like, look, I'll take somebody. I don't care if you swept the floor. If you worked on Halloween, come through. Thanks again, though. We appreciate everyone who watched the show, and we'll be back next week, man, with some more stuff. Next week, we're gonna have talk some stuff break down some stuff about scores and film, and then we also have we got some good stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. Please subscribe to the show, share with your friends, and
is Disney
and wait before
is Disney being greedy, trying to keep the characters? No.
With Disney, yeah, we'll talk about.
Are they?
So peace out, everybody. Thanks again to our guests, Joe Robo, Diane Franklin, and Lawrence Monoson. Thank you so much for coming on. We enjoy it. Peace out, everybody.